Being a police officer is a challenging but gratifying profession. An officer heads to work each day knowing they could have to respond to a potentially dangerous situation. On the other hand, they can be a positive influence, helping to alter the course of a person's life for the better. In the Bergen County town of Fairlawn, 60 brave men and women in blue have the responsibility of protecting approximately 30,000 men, women, and children. Among these officers is Sergeant Brian Metzler, who has been on the force for more than 2 decades. He grew up in Fairlawn and was a member of the town's auxiliary police while in college, studying to become a history teacher. But in the end, he answered the call to protect and serve.
I got into that, and it just everything was it was fun. It was exciting. Every day was a little different. And even as an auxiliary, you only work maybe a couple hours a week. But I got to see something that I knew nothing about. My father was a volunteer fireman, so I knew how that worked. And I knew I didn't really want to be a fireman. I wasn't really into that, even though I love the guys. I mean, they're great. Even the current volunteer firemen we have in town, they're fantastic. But for me, the auxiliary police really showed me what police work was about, gave me a small taste of it, and it got me interested, and took a couple tests. I had a couple job offers, and I ended up where I grew up in Fairlawn.
Fairlawn encompasses 5.5 square miles. It's not the biggest town in New Jersey, but there are several challenges officers face while working to keep the community safe. There are 2 state highways the men and women in blue need to patrol, Route 208 and Route 4, which is called Broadway in Fairlawn. There are 3 downtown areas, the River Road, Fairlawn and Plaza, also known as the Radburn Business Section, and Broadway. But because of Fairlawn's location, battling the opioid epidemic might be the biggest challenge.
We're sandwiched between the city of Paterson and the borough of Paramus. So especially with Paterson, it's got an unfortunate open drug market. So we get a lot of people that come from many miles sometimes to purchase drugs in Paterson, and they need to come through the towns that are around Paterson, including Fairlawn, and a lot of our neighboring towns as well. So it turns into a lot of stops. We find a lot of drugs in cars, a lot of people that need help, due to their addictions.
Because of this, a routine traffic stop can quickly become a matter of life and death, and officers need to act quickly. Sometimes they need to administer Narcan, the life-saving medicine that can reverse the effects of an opioid overdose.
We've had a lot of overdoses, and again, I think we find more overdoses with people that are driving through town, where we get calls that someone's ODing. They ultimately have purchased in Paterson. They will stop in Fairlawn to use overdose. We'll get that call. Every patrol unit in Fairlawn has a Narcan kit. So we have saved quite a number of people.
Because drug addiction can become expensive, businesses and homes across the area become the targets of people looking for quick money.
We find that a lot of people that are driving through town to purchase drugs in Paterson will stop in Fairlawn. And again, it's not just a Fairlawn problem, it's all the communities around here, and they will steal from our stores. They will break into our residences and take that stuff and sell it or pawn it in Paterson for the money that they need for the drugs they need to purchase. And we unfortunately we see a lot of that, especially the shopliftings. Anything that's even closer to the Paterson area, so that might be our shop right on River Road, CVS. We have 3 CVSs. We have 1 Walgreens. They get hit a lot, and that's 9 out of 10 people that we deal with. It's the same. They need money to purchase drugs.
But it's also drug dealers and traffickers the Fairlawn Police Department has to keep an eye out for. Sergeant Metzler says some dealers will travel hours to pick up large quantities and have to pass through towns like Fairlawn before and after making their purchase.
A lot of drug dealers sometimes also that purchase their product in Paterson and take it back to their parts, which can be as far away as we've had Albany, New York. We've had areas of Poconos in Pennsylvania. They come far distances just because the prices in Paterson are they're a little cheaper than where they come from. If you purchase drugs in Paterson for say $3 a bag, I'm giving it a random number, they might be able to get double or triple that amount for that same bag in areas outside of here. So it's quite a market. It's a dangerous market. It's dangerous for us because we have to deal with it all the time. But we do the best we can with what we do, and I think we do a good job.
In addition to working to combat the opioid epidemic, police officers in Fair Lawn, like departments across the country, are tasked with keeping the roads safe. That means cracking down on distracted driving or ensuring motorists or even vehicles are fit to be on the road.
Observing the traffic, a vehicle went by with a expired inspection sticker from 2017. New Jersey, everything's color coded, so I knew that blue was an old sticker. When we ran the license plate on the vehicle, the registration, that came back expired, which doesn't even really match the inspection because it hasn't been inspected in 2 years. So it should have definitely been done way before that.
During this traffic stop, there was a question regarding the motorist's insurance, but a New Jersey law that some may be unaware of worked in the motorist's favor.
If it wasn't insured, the state would suspend the registration on the vehicle as well, and we would get notice of that from the state when I ran the plate, and it didn't. So I believe he has the insurance, and he can show me electronically. He has the app on his phone. They can now show us inspection cards on the telephone. That's acceptable now in New Jersey. That became maybe in the past year.
While protecting the residents of Fair Lawn is of the highest priority for Sergeant Metzler, so too is helping to build positive and impactful relationships. For the past 6 to 7 years, the sergeant has been a part of the community policing program.
We're out there for events. Everybody knows they can come up to us. And it's not just community policing, it's anyone within the police department. We hope that what we've done with community policing is spread throughout our entire department so that the community knows that we're here. And all I have to do is, we try to be accessible. We do every event we possibly can. We answer every phone call.